Okay, this is CDS Studios, and we're going to do a little bit of lace per request. Now this is a sleeve I'm working on. I've got 58 stitches on my machine. I've got it cast on, got my rag hem hung, my weights. Needles are in position to knit the first row. So the pattern calls for me to knit one row. Then I start my pattern, so I knit one more row. Now this pattern is a series of 9. And I'm going to need a weight on this end. So let me pull over a weight. And if I need one on this end, I will more than likely need one on the other end. So I'm not going to wait for it. I'm just going to go ahead and do it. Okay, now the pattern calls for, as Cheryl Burnett says, an artful arrangement of holes. And my first arrangement of holes is on 35, coming from the outs. I'm going towards the center, and the center being the center of the 9. So the next one is 42. Again, I'm going to go, this is the center of my 9. The next one is 44. Go to the center of my 9. Next is, that was 44. The next is 51. What the numbers I'm commenting on, I have my bed marked from 1 to however many stitches I have, and then I've converted the pattern to a spreadsheet. That's why I know what number I'm putting it on. So now I need to move, I need a hole at 53, and this is the center of the 9, and then I need a hole at 60, 60, and then I need a hole at 62, okay, and then I need a hole at 69, and 69 has got to go this way because it's the center of my. The one another way you can tell. You see, you got 2 holes here. Well, this is the 9. So I go to the center of the 9, which is now moved down here. And now I want, did I get 69? Yep, got 69, got 71. And then 78. And this is towards the center of my pattern piece. And then I want 80, which I did. And then I want 87 towards the center of my hole. It leaves me with one over there. Okay, that is setting up for my row of lace. Then I knit the row. You may have to wiggle it to get past those open stitches. Okay, now make sure all those yarn overs, oh, that one didn't knit. Just make sure it knits, and then put your yarn over onto the needle. Lift the yarn up to go on over the needle. Okay, and then knit that row. That is your lace row. What causes the needles are not in the right position at times. You have to back up a little bit and wiggle it. And okay, now I did not have this one put up there, so I just go ahead and put it up there and restitch it. Okay. Now that's my first row. Now I gotta knit a row. Now I gotta do the row that is gonna contain my lace. Now this one, since my cursor's over on this side, now this one is going to take a 3-prong tool. I do not have a 3-prong tool, so I am going to use my 4-prong and just not use my last one. Okay, and what I need to do is I need a hole at 83. So I will take these, I'll take 3 of these and move them over for a hole at 83. And I drop the stitch. Just go to the one below and rehang it and then restitch it. Okay, so I have my hole at 83. My next hole is at 74. Something's not right. I have to look at the pattern again. Now, I knitted my base row, and now I'm going to move 84, number 84, I'm going to move these 3 over 1, I think before I finish I'm going to make me a 3-prong tool. Okay, excuse my arm please. Alright, and then I'm going to take 82 and these 3 and move them this way. Okay, let's move down. I'll do a couple of these for you. Now this is my edges of my pattern, remember? So I need 75. I need a hole at 75. Move it over 1. And then a hole at 74. Got a hole at 75. Okay, I need a hole at 73, excuse me. This one we don't want. So I'll just put him back together. Put him back on the machine. Okay, now this got to go back up there because that's where everything's going. Okay, and then move the 3 over. Okay, and then my next set of holes is 66. Which is right here. So I need to move these 3. Now if you do not have a 3-prong tool, You can use a 1 prong, it'll just take a little bit longer. Okay, take these 3 and move them over 1. Doesn't look like much at the moment. Okay, let me move my pattern down. In just a second. Okay, so 57 is a hole. So you take these 3, move them down 1. And as I said, this is a trim from Heidi's Room. Very informative site. Well worth the time to visit it several times. Okay, the next set of holes is 48. Don't want that one, but I'll fix that one. So I'm definitely going to make me a 3-prong tool if I do this too many more times. And the way I make a 3-prong tool, I take some, I prefer the craft sticks, which are wider than the ones I've got in this one here. And I lay them out at 8mm distances, which is the distance between the 2 needles. And these are just hair bobby pins that I've used. And then at 39, I want another hole. And then I just glued them, and with the popsicle sticks that I used here, it felt a little flimsy, so I added the cross beams. I think one of my videos shows how to make tools. I'm trying to keep my arm out of your way. Okay. Now that is prepped for my lace row. Now you can either move these out of the way or just pull them all forward. I just kind of use my stick and pull them all forward, make sure they're all the same distances. And that's just a 1 by about a 1/2 inch piece of oak scrap wood with the row. You may have to wiggle it every now and then. Okay. Now the row is knitted, so you want to always put my tools down. Make sure these yarns over and the knits that are supposed to have been get knitted, which it happens. You just manually knit it and make sure everything gets in the position it's supposed to be in. You can design your own lace if you like, which the top part of this is I've seen it on someone's sweater and loved it. So I just took a piece of graph paper and did it. I'm just rehanging my yarn overs. Now I'm going to do the rest of this off camera. And I'll be back when I'm at my next set of laces, which is going to be a series of diamonds. Okay, now I'm going to do this. I've got to check to see how many rows I've got to do it. But I know I've got to do at least 14, but I'm thinking it's 24. Okay, you see how it doesn't always knit? Probably needs a little bit of weight there, so you just manually knit it, because the blonde doesn't really like thin yarn very much. Okay, see that's a stitch that it looks like it's stitched, but it didn't. And just go down and look at all of them to make sure they stitched. stitch. Okay, push my hand along all of them to get them in the right row. Knit one row. Okay. And you can see my holes. Does not look like much at the moment, but when I take this off the machine, it won't have as much stitches here because it's a different one, but it will have these artful arrangements of holes, and it will scallop. It just won't have as much space here because there's only two stitches, I think, there. So it'll look kind of like that. Okay. Alright, I'm going to go find out how many rows. Let's see. Do we do it at this one? Yeah. But it's basically, now you know where your holes are going to be, so you just go right up above it. Remember, we're only doing 3. So take 3 and move them over. That was 37. I mean, you can keep following the pattern, which I'm planning on doing. Don't want that 4th one. So I think before I get too involved, I'm going to make me a 3-prong tool. And I have one, but the prongs aren't quite right, so I wasn't too impressed with it. It's one I'd made with polymer clay. Okay. And before I start the actual body of this sweater, I have to add some more needles to the other end. Okay. Now what I'll do is I'll do this up until, if 24 is my number, I will go up until about 20 and then do 4 rows of straight knitting. Okay, and just put that back on. Take these 3. I wonder what I did with that. Okay, I will be back. This is just a short one. Sorry about that. I'll be back with more. But this is all there is to lace, just creating holes. 1, 2. Take these 2. Move these 3 over. Take these 3. Now this is row 3 and 4 of the pattern. This one you would repeat it for as long as you need it. This would be lovely, well, because that's what I'm doing, not just because it's going to be lovely, but on the bottom of a sweater or like a jacket or even on the edge of a blanket. You could do the bottom, turn it over, and do the top, and then you can either cast on and stitch it to the side, which now might not be a bad idea, depending on how big your Afghan is. Excuse me. Okay, so I'm going to get this posted later, probably tomorrow. Well, we'll cut that.